Okay, right. Hey everyone, my name is Harry Kusrianto from the Interfaith Study and Community Development Association in associate with Philadelphia Roundtable. Joining with me is brother Jesselx. So he's gonna take me around for the tour. So he had some project for community gardening. So okay, we'll see.
We're in North Philadelphia. Just wanted to share some of the things that's going on, especially some of the changes that's been taking place and how we can and how I have been implementing some change. Just leaving a meeting here. But with that being said, I try to make some change any way that I can. I happen to have grown up in this neighborhood. I'm still in the community. And this is one of the churches that I grew up in as a child. This is my childhood street right here, 2100 block of North 18th Street. Father Paul Washington was my neighbor. So many others. We had a powerful Miss Thomas. We had the ACDC community right here. We had Miss Morton, Mr. Gibson, so on and so forth. You know, growing up at that particular time, I didn't understand the value in those elders, some of which who are still here today. But in particularly, what we were talking about as far as gentrification is concerned and land and so on and so forth, I wanted to show you just a piece of something that I've been doing. I've been turning vacant lots into community gardens in the North Philadelphia section here, which they're currently coining the term Temple Town. Also in the Strawberry Mansion areas of North Philadelphia, close to the Fairmount Park section. If you can take a look just ahead, there's a vacant lot here on the corner of Edgeley Street. I, with permission of the neighbors, have been taking charge of this particular lot. I haven't had the opportunity to do as much that I would like, but at this particular time, the lot is cleaner than it normally is. Some of the elders in my neighborhood that used to take charge of this lot here, if not died off, you know, they're very elderly right now. And if you just take the look right across the street there, on this corner here, we kind of cleaned up the debris. There's some weeds that's growing back, and we put down some carpets. Right here, this what used to be a building right here was where Father Paul Washington's home stood. And if you look directly across the street at this particular house, 2117 is the childhood home I grew up in. The house has been vacant since 1998. Yes, my family was the last family to live there. We moved out of there in '98. As we walk a little further, I think I might have a handful of neighbors who are still around on this particular street here. But throughout the neighborhood, I have plenty of neighbors of my own that I just enjoy seeing them. But if we take a walk over here, if you see this property here, 21, 27, and 25, what I've taken the opportunity, starting in April of this year, I just cleaned up the lot. I and a couple of
it's
neighbors.
a nice one.
I and a couple of neighbors and a couple of my youth that I mentor, we've been planting seeds.
Beautiful,
and a lot of
yeah.
it has been experimentation. A lot of it has been doing some, it's been doing some powerful. This actually here, these tires in front of me, when I initially planted with the youth, we alternated cauliflower, broccoli seeds. And for some reason, the cauliflower did not grow, but a lot of the broccoli did. It grew in its own little way. If you can see here, there's a broccoli head. With that being said, I had some peppers that I had to plant 2 or 3 times. And I also planted some onions that were right there. We can take a little tour. You can see I have plenty of bins that cherry tomatoes, grape tomatoes. I have about 4 or 5 different kinds of tomatoes that have just been growing.
This amazing. Wow, this hard work.
If you can see here,
Yeah.
this is a melon.
Oh, melon.
This is a melon.
Honeydew melon. Yeah.
Yeah, honeydew melon.
Oh,
Yep,
wow.
yep. It hasn't. Someone picked it.
Right.
It didn't grow until its full potential. But if you look here, and you have to excuse my mess. Y'all kind of caught me on an off day. But over here, I had some melons growing. I think somebody might have pulled them all out.
Oh, this
See here.
watermelon. No, not. Oh, the same
that's
one.
The honeydew. The honeydew. This is a
Yeah,
little
the same kind, okay.
section here. You know, I even had the opportunity. I planted some corn. It's
Oh,
like
wow.
dying off right here.
Yeah.
But this is what's left over from what the birds didn't eat. I
Right.
didn't cover it up.
Right,
A group of birds stayed right here in this tree, and they just swapped down.
right.
Yep. And I had about two different kinds of squash growing here as well. I mean, at the end
Right.
of the day, it's not the
Do you have pumpkin? You
pumpkin.
you should
I'm
grow
trying
pumpkin.
pumpkins.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying.
It's grow
actually
fast
over
though.
here. Actually over here, I put some pumpkin seeds down.
Right,
And like I said, it's just in its experimentation form.
right. Oh, okay.
Some of there's only certain items that are really edible because of the soil that's been transplanted in,
Right.
and versus the soil that's here.
Right.
But with that being said, it's a process, and hopefully next
Right.
year, it'll be a sight to see.
Right, right.
I mean, you know, in this kind of neighborhood where you're used to seeing buildings being erected,
Right.
and you know, just vacant lots and things in disarray. This
Right.
was something that, you know, not only did it for community engagement,
Right.
but just to beautify.
Right.
You know, it did shock me when I would do this, come out every so often, and I would hear people, you know, just murmuring, "Who's doing that over there?" You know, as individuals who normally wouldn't talk to each other.
Right.
Because this is like a transient neighborhood. You have a lot of people who are just renters, and they come in from maybe 8 months to 12.
Right.
They move in for their, you know, their college days, and then they move on. And you have a lot of people who are just, you know, they're not stable. So you see people that's just going about their business, not really communing. But when I started this, it was like, oh, I see something going on over there. Do you know what's going on? These are neighbors, you know, who just happen to be talking because they saw a garden being established on the corner.
You guys making it look nice over there, man.
Yeah, you know, I tried. And actually, I started doing mentoring this year.
Right.
And this was an opportunity to bring them and show them what can come from planting a seed.
Right.
You know, and also it's not so much hard work, but just having some patience to see
Better
something
just
all the
a
way
lot
through.
out here, you know what
Yes,
I
sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. And you know, I just, you know, I'm very glad the opportunity to finally have someone come in and
Right.
and just see exactly what it is that we're doing. This is a you know, in my eyesight, it's monumental.
Right.
You know, this is something that's been done. I mean, I can see the potential of it, but it's done with very little time. We've been relying basically on practically rainwater, and when I say rainwater, not accumulating it because we've had, you know, a roughly dry season.
Right.
You know, but things have been prospering. I mean, things are growing with just in this environment in itself. I've got kale over here. I mean, you really caught me on a rough day, but I've got kale in here growing. This is actually
Oh, this look like color green.
yeah, it is a green.
Yeah,
This is an herb right here called
it is.
sorrel. I like this.
Right.
You can just pick that up and eat it.
Oh, you just
I planted it, so I know what's going on.
you can wash it first.
Good.
Yeah, nah, I ain't mad. You know, but at the end of the day, like I said, it's an experiment going on. You know, we've been told about the Booker T. Washingtons and the George Washington Carvers. Now it's time for us to get involved and get the soil up under our nails. You know, I have a hard time keeping a clean hand. You know, being in the garden scene and everything. I planted. You can see here. You asked about a pumpkin. Here's a squash.
Wow, yeah.
It's in the pumpkin family. I mean, I
Okay.
think a pumpkin is the form of a squash, if I'm not mistaken. These probably don't grow. They probably don't grow no more than maybe about 5 to 6 inches. You know, I was surprised to see I've had some progress with those sunflowers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's sunflower. Yeah.
Okay. Those sunflowers. This is actually a weed that grew out of this tomato bush. Tomato bush that I had in here.
Tomatoes.
Yeah, these
Yeah,
are
one right here.
cherry
that grew pretty
tomatoes.
good right here, but
Yeah, this actual plant here. These were some burpee. The funny thing is, I had a friend who, not a friend, actually, an individual that I started doing the community gardens with, my brother Khalid Muhammad, and he took some seeds, tomato seeds, and just happened to toss them into a pile of soil, some good clean soil. And one day he just called me out the blue and said, "Look, I got some tomato plants." And so I came in, he had a a whole row of
They just
plants.
chucked them joints.
Yeah, and we just went around to the different gardens that we were taking care of, and we just start planting them. But just to show you, those seeds that he planted, these are the fruits of that labor here, as opposed to the plants that I actually bought from Home Depot that didn't survive. Now this here has actually died off, if you can see there. But this is prospering. Even that patch in there, it's about 2 or 3 different kind of tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes, grape tomatoes, and also I think there's another kind of tomato, but it's just growing. And I think the last time I was here to water was probably, I was here Tuesday. So I relied on whatever came since Tuesday, but it's just growing. I mean, I could probably go for days pulling off the tomatoes and everything. But normally in our gardens, one of the rapid and constantly growing vegetables are the tomatoes and the peppers. They just constantly just go. They do well in this climate and during these seasons. With that being said, I just wanted to let you know some of the things that we're doing. I don't know what this is. Oh, this was another one of the squash.
That grew
I don't,
pretty bad.
like I said, I just started this in April. I haven't had it taken the amount of time that it really needs to, fence it off, maintain everything. But I'm looking forward to next year. I'm looking forward to next season. What I want to do is, my goal is to not only take a program like this and start it and to develop it into a summer job for the children, for the youth, and also a mentoring program all into one. Also, to take vacant lots such as these and just have that opportunity to allocate maybe 1 or 2 vegetables at this location. We can have rows and rows and rows of corn, and have and implement that whole concept into another location. We can have rows and rows of melon, rows and rows of squash. I saw something that I've been looking into that I wanted to try, and that was where you saw the stalks of corn. There was something that I happened to be reading on. It was called 3 Sisters, where you would grow 3 vegetables or 3 items, and they would live in harmony. And they talked about how you would grow beans, and beans would keep your soil very fertilized and healthy. And you would also grow something like a squash, and you would also grow something that has a tall stalk, such as the corn. And you would use the corn stalk to maybe trail up and attach your squash to that, and then everything would grow in harmony in a minimum amount of space. So that's something I want to try and do with the youth, and also show them that process. At the end of the day, right now, we happen to be living in a serious kind of food chain. And I'm not talking about literal food, I'm talking about us as people and how we interact with one another and how we interact with regards to real estate and with regards to land. And that's just about it. I mean, if you had any questions, I'm open for that, but I really just wanted to show you this piece here, since we were just right across the street. And folk always ask me, they say, man, why you don't document some of the things you do? I mean, at the end of the day, I think it is needed. A lot of times I do it for just to happen to see the other people smile that I interact with, Right now it's about seeing people with wholesome smiles on their faces, and that in turn gives me a realization that my work is not going in vain. It's not so much about the documentation or the financial aspects, but yeah, and I want to thank you.
Just if anybody wanna, get contact, try to get involved, try to participate, try to partake, and so is there any way people can contact you?
Absolutely. If you're on Facebook, you can go to Junior Fruit Garden. That would be capital J, capital R, space fruit, the word fruit, F-R-U-I-T, space garden, G-A-R-D-E-N. You can contact me directly, 267-601-2542, or you can send me an email. It's my first name, Jessel, the letter X, @gmail.com.
So okay, all right, everyone. So that was our tour for community gardening. So again, thank you, Brother Jesselx, for your time, for your effort.
Yes, sir.
for your inspiring project. Hope
Yes.
everything that you do
Yes.
will inspire other people, other community, so we can make get together, make a big impact to improve the quality of life. And at the end, we have something in common, so we have to work things out together. So again, thank you for your time. Peace be with you.
Yo, thank you. Thank you.